welcome to another episode of the 8-Bit Retro Refix. And on this week, we're looking at the three Amigos. I mean three Amigas. So we've got three Amiga A500s. We've got an Amiga A500 Plus, which unfortunately has had battery damage, but we can take a look at that at a later date. Thankfully, the keyboard was in good condition and working. So Martin at the TheHobbyLodge. So if you have a look in the description, you'll find a link to Martin's YouTube videos. Pop over and see Martin's channel, he does some great stuff. But this one, I think we're going to use the case, maybe. I don't know, we'll have to see. But it is in quite good condition. As I said, it has eaten, battery has eaten the board away. It's not too bad. I'll pop a picture up there so you can have a look. But that's that one. And if you can remember, a while ago I did some Amiga repairs, the A500, it turned out to be the CIA chips, but the casing was all smashed, so it needed a new case on there. I'll pop that picture of that one up there for you. Well, and as you can see, this one, the keyboard is actually working on this one, but you can see that it's got, I think it's the escape key that's missing, the number 6 key is missing, and the plungers are not there neither, so they're somewhere inside the unit. This one, I'll pop up that, is all working. It's got a bad disk drive in it, so that doesn't work at all. And the keyboard doesn't work at all. It's just dead as a doornail. In fact, if you plug it in, it just doesn't even boot the A500 at all. It just stays there on a black screen and just doesn't do anything. So the old famous black screen, which is what actually Martins were doing at the TheHobbyLodge, until I spoke to him over the internet and we chatted about it a little bit, and he tried different pieces, and finally we nailed it down to being a bad keyboard. You just unplug it and the actual unit boots up in itself. But we wanted to go into it a little bit more, check the CIAs that it wasn't them that's causing problems or anything like that. But we nailed it down to needing a keyboard. Hence why that keyboard I showed you previously, we're going to be sending over to Martin so he can do some more videos with the A500. So what I'm going to be doing on this one is we're going to swap the case top over. I'm going to pull the keyboards down. I'm going to swap the keyboard controller boards over. See how that goes. I've never done one of them before, so I'm going to have to try and be careful with them. There's only a couple of screws on the back, but there's a really tight little ribbon cable, and I'm not sure if it's going to be better to strip the whole thing down or not. But we'll see how that goes as we go along with it. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get this A500 back into some working shape. So let's get to it. Right, so here we are at the 500 with this smashed keyboard and the missing keys on here. I've only pulled the other one down, so I've got the top case ready, which is here, which is going to go nicely onto there. And I've got the keyboard here, and this is the little board that I was mentioning earlier on that we want to be swapping over, because this keyboard doesn't work. This keyboard doesn't work. This one does, but you can see that the plungers and the key caps are missing out of there. So rather than me going to the trouble of swapping these plungers over for the moment and replacing the springs and the keycaps, we may as well just swap the controller board over into this board, so it gives us a working board. On a later video, I'll do a little bit more of a restoration and find out why this controller board's not working. And we'll strip this down and make some new plungers. I'll either try and get a hold of some plungers for it, or we'll 3D print some. Either way, we can do that and get that sorted out. If you'd like me to do that, pop a comment down in the bottom and just say, yeah, I'd like you to do that, and we'll see about getting that done for you. But at the moment, what we're going to do is strip this top case off, pull this keyboard out, swap these two controller boards over, and basically pop that case top back on to this one to make it all nice and pretty again. So that's what we're going to do, and let's get to it. There's only 3 screws at the back, and there's 3 screws at the front. There isn't any in the front because there is no front. So we should be able to lift that top case off there now, and that's what's left of the original cover. I might pop that back onto the other unit just to keep it a little bit more safe. So we'll just pop that off there now, and we should be able to lift that keyboard out. So all I'm going to do at the moment is I'm just going to lift this unit up out of the way. And if you remember from the other A500 video with the little green dot on, there's the CIA chip that we changed in the odd socket over there, which brought this unit back into life. So let's move that out of the way for the minute, and we'll have a look at this keyboard controller. Like I said, I've never done one of these before, so I'm hoping it's going to be nice and easy, but we don't know. These are very, very tiny screws. So it looks like there's just 3 screws in. Can't get to that one because it's underneath that plastic cover. If you just spin it out of the way, you should be able to get to that plastic cover. A bit tight with that one. So that's unscrewed from there. Is that little clip that go around the metal case? Yes, it does. So we need to just snip that off. So bear with me while I get some snips. Try and find some little cable ties as well for holding that in place. We'll just try and snip that off without breaking, put it into the wires. That's that one off. And that's the little plastic shield out of the way. And then now we're down to the little board. So I'm looking in there, and I don't know whether that just pushes. Yes, we've got a clip at either side of there, so we'll just push that clip forward, I think. Yep, that comes forward. That comes forward like that. So that's off there. And we should be able to lift this little board up somehow. Fold the wires down and push the board. And it should just lift straight out of there. So that were an easy fix. That were really, really easy to do that. I'm hoping it goes back into here just as easy as it came out. But yeah. So that was my working board. That was working controller. So I'll just set that one to one side now. This is our faulty keyboard. So I'm hoping this is just about the same thing again. So I should be able to just push that off there. Like that. Should be able to clip that little cable tie there that holds that in place. What we did before, put that over there. We can fling these cables over here, press them down. You can just hold it underneath there, look, it just goes underneath that numpad, so that holds it down out of the way. And then we're back to the back side of this board. And we're back on the same things again. So we'll take these little screws out. What? for it. This lifts off out of the way. That one's a little bit tighter. I think it uses that as an earth. Okay, that one come out easy enough. So, can we do the same with this one? So if we lean it, unhook them wires, lean it back, slide it off the controller. So that should be the faulty controller. Let's try and get this one in here. Hopefully that's going to pop into there really easy and help it a little bit. Oh yeah. That sits down over there nicely. I'm not going to put the keyboard controller connector in just yet. I'm just going to put that underneath there so we can get the screws in the other side to hold this board into place. So we should have one of the little them ones to go in there. I don't know if you can see that one, that has a little washer on that one, look. The others don't, they're just normal screws. Pop that in there. That's that one down. Plastic cover. I nip that one down, then it didn't hold it. I'll just let it go a little bit while I nip that one. That's nipped. That's nipped. And there's the last screw. I don't trust that one. I don't think that one I want it. I think I've made a mistake there. Let's just back that up. Put that out. I'm going to put that up there where it belongs. So that is that. If you just look, if you go underneath here, you can see that controller in there. I'll try and scope it in a little bit, zoom in a little bit for you to have a look. And all I'm going to do is take a pen, if you want. You can see the clip there, look. You just push that clip up into place. Same with that one there. Just push it up. Like that until it clicks in. There you go, that's clicked in. So other than us putting a little cable tie around there now to hold that into place, that should be that one done. But what I want to do is just bring it up now, plug it in, and let's see if everything's okay. So put them over a little bit and we'll come back to them shortly. Bring his working unit back. Move it over a little bit. Power supply don't like it in there. Nothing to there. Set the keyboard over. Plug it back in. And flip the switch. Yep, we're lit up, look. Caps lock's flashing away. That's good. I need to test. I need to test now. We need to check to make sure that all these keys are working before we put it back together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this lift this keyboard out of the way. We'll switch it off first. I'm going to lift this keyboard out of the way, and what I'm going to do is swap the kickstart ROM out of there for the diag ROM, and then go under and test the keyboard to make sure that all the keys are functioning. And I did this one on the keyboard that I'm sending over to Martin at HobbyLodge as well, just to make sure that it's all working correctly. So I'm just going to grab that diag ROM now. So if you have a quick look back through my videos, you'll find how to program these EEPROM chips to create yourself these diag ROMs. I've been a little bit daft and I need my chip puller. So I've got my chip puller back. These are very, very cheap, inexpensive chip pullers. What I found is these legs, when you're going for the bigger chips, quite out there. You can see, I don't know if you can see or not, you see that they're angled and they tend to slip off these chips if you're not very careful. So what I tend to do is I bend that leg in, and I bend that leg in. So as you can see, they're bent inwards a little bit. So you can slot underneath that, slot under there, give it a little wiggle, and out she comes. Take note when you take it out which way around the notch goes. You can see it on the board if you look. I'll pop a picture up and you can see that bit. You can see the notch, you can see the white on the silk screen, you can see all the white writing around these chips and stuff like that. Well, it actually shows you which way around it goes. So the notch goes to the top near that crystal. That's a diag ROM in. I'm going to move you up now, and I'm just going to try and set the camera up so you can see what goes on with this diag ROM. Don't worry about all them flashing, that's all part and parcel of the diag ROM checks. So now we're back down to the menu now. Well, that's a good do because the arrow key works, that's a good start anyway. So I'm just going to move down and go down to keyboard tests. So we now know that the input works. And what I'm going to do now is just adjust the camera for you so you can see up at this top corner. You can see where it says CHR. You've got hex 4. So sometimes it doesn't show you the key, but you can see the hex change. So you know that there's some response from the keyboard when you press that button. I'm going to start on the keyboard from the top left, which is escape, go across the top to the right, which is all the F keys, and then I'm going to come down each row, doing one key each at a time, and see if we get a change. So you can see there, oops, escape takes us back out. Obviously the key works. Go back into test the program, F1, so you can see how it's saying character 1. Keep pressing it, look, and you can see how the hex is changing, and you can also see the keyboard binary number change. The keyboard binary number is what tells it what key is being pressed. Okay, so there's F2, so you've got 51 flashing now, look, F3, 52 is flashing, look, D2, 52, F4, you can see it going to 53, look, 54, 55, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's the F1 keys across the top. So top left corner of the key now, you can see it changing to 0. I'm going to go 1. It's telling us that the character, look, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Minus, equals key, forward slash key, back arrow key, tab key, Q, W, E, D. You can see it all change. Enter key. Yep, that's working. CTRL. Now, you can't see anything changing now with the key, back key with the keyboard code binary. That's because it's a CTRL, so it's not an actual key, it's just moving the case. But if you look, you can see just on the top left side of the screen there where it's saying buffer. Well, that actually says current scan code read from keyboard buffer. Just underneath it, and just to the left of the keyboard binary code, you've got scan code binary. So the scan code binary is changing, and so is the buffer, which you can see changing from 56 to 57 when I press it. So we know that the CTRL key working. Caps lock. Yep, it changed on and off. So if I go caps lock A, you can see the top right corner, you can see the capital. Set the caps lock off and press A, you get a small a. So we know that the caps lock's working. And I'm just going to go down that row from A across to the L. Right, a bit further on as well. So S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, double dot. That's asterisk. Return key, you can see operating. Shift key, you can't see that. Again, you can see the 62 changing. Go with a Z, C, V, B, N, M, comma, full stop, forward slash, that's your arrow, that's your shift key again. I've got Alt, you can see changing under the buffer. The at key, you can see that changing over there, look, so that we're good with that. Spacebar. Amiga key again, we're changing. Alternate, we're changing under the buffer again. Delete, help. Arrows we know work because we got to select it. And then we move over to the numpad now. So we've got bracket, forward slash, star, 7, 8, 9, minus, 5, 5, 6, plus, 1, 2, 3, enter, 0, full stop, enter. So that's good stuff, guys. So that's that keyboard controller just swapped over and it's up and running. So all we need to do now is screw the top back on. So all we need to do now is take the diagram out first. So we'll just switch the power off. Use a chip puller. Under there like that. Give it a little wiggle. The diagram out. This one is, if I can read it. Can't read it, my eyes are too bad at the minute. So I'm going to put that in there. Put that back there. We'll flick the switch. And that's a Kickstart 1.3 is the chip that we'll put back in there. So, now we know that works. Does the disk drive work just before we decide to put the top case back on? So there we go, we've got the keyboard now up and running. I just need to put the top case back on. I won't bore you with that, it's only 3 screws across the back and 3 screws across the front. And it's done. Well, there you go, we've got a nice working Amiga A500 again. Yeah, it's got some spares, the other one's going to be used and kept for the motherboard parts. All the cases are broken and things like that. You've seen that on the pictures that I've already showed you throughout the video. So it's just a spare board now. So yeah, so that's all up and running. and working fine and dandy. If you've enjoyed those videos and the repair videos and showing you how to go along with doing these, I first originally started the channel. Well, I've done a lot of computer repairs, console repairs, etc. for quite a lot of years, to be honest. And it was only a couple of years ago that somebody said to me, I don't know why you don't do videos and show people what you actually do. So I started doing that last year. The channel's growing quite well. If you want to join us, you can come and see us on Facebook. We've got a Facebook group. We're on Instagram, and we're also on Twitter. You'll find all the links down in the comments to join us. So it'd be nice to see you there, and if you've got any questions or if you've got anything that you want me to fix for you, by all means, send me a message and we can arrange that for you. So if you've enjoyed the channel and you're enjoying what I'm doing, please give me a like and subscribe. It all helps. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye!